I'm much better now that the ladies are back from space.
What were they up there, 10 minutes?
It's so cringy.
Look at us, we're very wealthy. Don't we look great? Admire us.
She essentially took a roller coaster ride.
Well, it was very profound. I don't know if you've seen Katy Perry talk about it, but she's basically a guru now. Let's not minimize this. Let's celebrate female astronaut.
That's the other thing. There has been female astronauts.
Let's not minimize this.
Katy Perry jumped out of the aircraft and kissed the ground in a painfully cringe moment that has been roasted online.
Lots of other people in the media were embarrassing themselves during this ordeal. Oprah Winfrey actually wept as she watched the all-female team launch into space.
It's the most amazing feat ever for mankind. Womankind.
The 11-minute space flight that was touted as some kind of divine feminine gift to humanity.
That was one small step for womankind, one giant leap backwards for mankind.
But if Katy Perry started singing and I was trapped in the vacuum of space, you better believe I'd find a way to end it.
What did they do?
I thought it was condescending. It was belittling to women.
Katy Perry went to space and came crashing back to Earth. Reputation first. What was supposed to be an inspiring all-female Blue Origin flight turned into a social media disaster, with Joe Rogan leading the digital pylon and even Wendy's getting a jab in. Perry called it life-changing. The internet called it astronaut cosplay. And the most brutal critiques, they're coming from her own celebrity peers. Buckle up, because this 10-minute trip to space triggered a full-blown pop culture implosion, and we're unpacking every ridiculous second of it. By the way, I'm Elle. We cover the latest celebrity rumors and updates, including— be sure to check out our last video, see Katy Perry roast. So please subscribe to our channel and like this video. What are your genuine thoughts on Katy Perry's space mission? Shout out to Maglev2000. You can support us by becoming a member of our channel.
To going up, you said that you needed to go to space to heal. I know you're only a few minutes removed from this.
I feel super connected to love.
Goodness. I will never be the same.
And this wasn't just a trip past the Kármán line, it was a mission to inspire. But here's the thing, while they were floating in zero gravity back on Earth, the reactions were anything but weightless. From snarky tweets to celebrity shade, the internet wasn't buying it. What was supposed to be a symbol of courage and progress was quickly dismissed as a luxury PR stunt wrapped in a hashtag. And the crash landing, it wasn't physical, it was reputational.
I've had so many people reach out to me and say, because you did it, it makes me think I can do it too.
You know, it's so funny. She said she's heard from women and girls who have said to her, I didn't realize this is something I could do. You know how I know that didn't happen, Megyn? Because it's not something they could do, because they're not friends with Jeff Bezos, right? Like, take up space! Their message for women was take up space. You guys are taking up too much space already.
The first punch didn't come from a tabloid. It came from Joe Rogan. On his podcast, The Joe Rogan Experience, he didn't just roll his eyes at the mission, he tore it apart. Rogan mocked everything from the self-congratulatory tone to the over-the-top theatrics, making it clear that in his eyes, this wasn't a bold leap for womankind. It was a glorified influencer campaign in a rocket suit. And as usual, where Rogan goes, the internet follows. His takedown set the tone for what quickly turned into a viral avalanche of mockery.
And you know it's bad when other celebrities come out and mock you. Like that celebrity on celebrity violence almost never happens, but we're witnessing it right now.
Olivia Wilde reposted an image of Katy Perry kissing the ground. She was acting like she got back from Apollo 13.
It's so much money to go to space. Yeah. There's a lot of people who can't even afford eggs. What are they going to do up there that has made it better for us down here?
The criticism wasn't subtle, it was savage. People weren't just questioning the point of the flight, they were openly roasting the crew for pretending to be astronauts. Even the FAA chimed in, confirming that no one on board actually qualified as an astronaut because they didn't perform any safety critical tasks. Translation, it was a space-themed Uber ride and Katy Perry was in the backseat with her phone out. Once that clip of Rogan started circulating, the mission's heroic branding collapsed faster than a PR stunt in zero gravity.
Last second, they added me to space. I'm bringing this. It was in my bag and I was like on the subway and I got the text and they were like, do you want to go to space? So
Katy Perry held a flower. Supposedly she sang.
Katy sang, what a wonderful world.
She did?
Isn't that nice?
Oh, come on.
She sang, what a wonderful world.
Had I been one of the chosen few revolutionary women, I probably would have just jumped out and let the void of space either suck me in and destroy me, or just begun my descent to Earth
at terminal velocity and probably caught fire on the way down. You know, either way, there are many options.
If Joe Rogan lit the match, social media brought the flamethrower. The backlash wasn't just loud, it was creative, relentless, and downright brutal. Within hours of the landing, Katy Perry's space voyage was reduced to memes, punchlines, and one-liners sharper than a rocket's nose cone. Even Wendy's, a fast food chain known for its savage Twitter persona, chimed in after Perry's dramatic post-landing moment, where she literally kissed the Texas dirt by tweeting, "Can we send her back?"
Martha Stewart, God bless Martha Stewart. She posted something online because she went up in a flight that achieved zero gravity.
I boarded a Boeing 727 aircraft called G-Force One and experienced what astronauts feel when they reach zero gravity.
It's a complete troll. Everyone's trolling them now.
And that wasn't even the harshest comment of the day. Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, every platform became a battleground of snark, with users dubbing the crew space tourists with Wi-Fi and mocking the mission as the world's most expensive photo op. Hashtags like #0 gravity ego and influencer in orbit started trending. Instead of being hailed as pioneers, they were seen as performers.
Gayle King, upset, had a few things that she needed to explain to those of us who don't understand what a hero she is.
For many, the sight of celebrities floating in a rocket while the world burned below wasn't inspirational. It was insulting. And the message was clear: if you're going to spend millions flying to space, maybe don't come back preaching about empowerment while holding a selfie stick.
Please don't call it a ride. That is not a friggin' ride. Whenever a man goes up, no one called that a ride. It was called a flight. It was called a journey, because a ride implies that it's something frivolous or something that's lighthearted. There was nothing frivolous about what we did. What it's doing to inspire other women and young girls, please don't ignore that.
There's nothing frivolous about what we did. Let's see how it went on board the Blue Origin spacecraft.
Flynn, I got you.
With her daisy?
I got you, Flynn.
It's one thing when internet trolls come for you, but it hits different when your own peers start joining in, and that's exactly what happened. As the Blue Origin crew floated back into Earth's atmosphere, they weren't just met with public mockery, they were greeted with celebrity mockery. Amy Schumer jumped into the fray, sarcastically claiming she had been added to the crew last minute, poking fun at the performative, last-minute, Instagram-ready vibe of the whole affair.
They've gone next level. The montage of them about them.
There, it's dark. It's like death.
And I'm so proud of us. I really am proud of me.
Flowers for me. I brought a daisy because I have so much love for my daughter Daisy, and I have so much love for Mother Earth.
If I can do this, I was telling these guys, I might even now get my ears pierced. I've never gotten my ears pierced because that hurts.
I hope they can see the unity that we modeled and replicate that and understand that we weren't just taking up space, we were making space.
Then came Martha Stewart, who posted a throwback video of herself experiencing zero gravity, just casually, while slyly sliding in a Katy Perry lyric. Subtle? Not at all. Effective? Extremely. These weren't just jokes, they were inside jabs from people who know exactly how the industry works, and more importantly, how fake it can look when you try to sell a luxury ride as a historic milestone.
No, like, I'm so sorry, but I actually don't give a fuck that you went into space. I actually don't give a fuck that you went into space. Dare I say it? I actually think I kind of hate you. I kind of hate you for going into space. And you come down from your 30-second fucking orbit in space, and you kiss the ground, and you say, we need to thank Mother Earth. We need to save the planet. You just burnt so much fucking CO2. You're also doing fucking company promo for like the world's worst billionaire, one of the world's worst billionaires, and you're coming down here to lecture us on climate change. You literally just tore a new hole in the ozone layer. Like, you literally did it by yourself.
When your own colleagues who understand the pressures and optics of fame start rolling their eyes at you, that's not just a PR problem, that's an image implosion. What was intended to be a moment of collective inspiration turned into a very public moment of Hollywood saying, girl, no. And just when the mission's defenders thought things couldn't get worse, the FAA entered the chat. In what felt like the bureaucratic version of a mic drop, the Federal Aviation Administration confirmed what critics had been shouting all along. No one on that Blue Origin flight qualified as an astronaut. Why? Because they didn't perform any safety critical tasks during the mission. Translation, they didn't do anything. The rocket was fully automated. They were passengers. First class, high profile passengers, but passengers nonetheless.
Perception, there it is.
Katy!
The best part was when we got back in our seats after 0 G's, Katy sang "What a Wonderful World."
She did?
Isn't that nice?
Oh, come on.
She sang "What a Wonderful World."
At some point during the descent back to Earth, the mission stopped being about space and started being about them. Katy Perry called the flight second only to being a mom. Gayle King practically demanded the world stop calling it a ride and instead recognize it as a journey. And with a capital J in Lauren Sanchez, she made sure to shout girl power while floating midair, as if that alone justified the entire operation. The narrative shifted from exploration to empowerment, but not the kind that uplifts. It was the kind drenched in self-importance, carefully curated for likes and legacy.
Today's episode of Rich People Doing Things Nobody Asked For. 6 women launched into space for a lifetime of bragging rights. It all just feels too familiar.
Because nothing says inspiration quite like billionaires' girlfriends and TV anchors high-fiving in zero gravity while the rest of us are still figuring out rent. The entire mission, once pitched as a leap forward for women, began to look more like a space-themed TED Talk sponsored by Wealth and Wi-Fi. It wasn't about opening doors, it was about keeping the spotlight. Empowerment is supposed to be inclusive. This ? This was a floating selfie booth masquerading as history.
Why are we doing this? Why are we sending Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez into space? Why did we need like a female suit? Why did we need a sexy space suit? This just literally looks like an SNL skit.
If the mission was a launch pad, the internet turned it into a roast. Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit exploded with commentary so cutting it could slice through a spacesuit. One user quipped, the only thing orbiting up there was their egos, while another asked if Blue Origin offered return flights for humility. The memes were relentless. Perry's space selfie edited into vintage album covers, Gayle King floating next to dollar signs, Lauren Sanchez's girl power moment turned into a reality show trailer. And then there were the mock mission badges. Glittery patches reading "didn't touch a single button" and "certified influencer in orbit." It was open season and no one was holding back. Even diehard fans of the crew found themselves quietly backing away from the crim. But the best part, instead of just letting the backlash burn out, the crew doubled down. They took to social media, not with humility, but with lectures, insisting the mission was misunderstood and too powerful for critics to grab. Because apparently you're not allowed to question the value of a 10-minute rocket ride unless you've personally been to space. If only ego could generate thrust, they wouldn't need the rocket. In the end, the question wasn't whether the rocket made it to space, it was whether the mission had any point at all. What started as a self-declared milestone for women in space quickly unraveled into what many saw as a well-funded PR campaign disguised as progress. These weren't trailblazers, they were brand ambassadors in zero gravity. No experiments, no scientific contributions, no risks, just luxury tourism with a glossy feminist bow. And while the crew returned home full of words like inspired and transform, the public was left wondering who exactly was supposed to be moved by all of this, because let's be honest, it didn't feel like a victory for women. It felt like a victory for whoever manages to keep a straight face while calling a billionaire-funded Instagram opportunity a historic journey.